Morning. So today, at long last, 2 and a bit months since I ordered the parts, everything is here and I can now start to reassemble the swing arm. So that's what we're going to do this morning. First of all, we're going to put on the clutch gear. Now this has been in the freezer for over 24 hours. It's in a box just now just to keep it cool while I heat up the surrounding bit. So I'm just going to angle this down and hopefully you'll be able to see what we're doing here. Okay, so this is our shiny new swing arm. We're going to heat this area up here and it should just hopefully be a case of dropping the clutch gear into place. So first of all, heat gun. I'm going to give this a minute or two just to warm it up. I'm hoping this drops in as easily as the one in the gearbox did. And then once we get this in, hopefully and on, then we'll let it get back to room temperature so it stays in place. And then we'll fit the oil seal, and then we'll do a test of putting the gearbox back on, make sure everything's fitting nice and smoothly. Setting the heat up nicely. Give that a try. Might need a bit more, might even need a tap in, who knows. Out comes the gear. Tilt this up and fingers crossed. I see it's going to need a tap in, I think. Not going to go in quite as easily as the other one. If we get our mallet and just... That's alright, let's just go in with the mallet. And that, I think, is that. Looks good. So there we go, it just needed a tap in with the mallet and it's nice and flush now with the edge. Oil seal is going to go in there once this is all settled down. So that's it, stage one finished. Excellent. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is just fit the little oil seal. Now I was watching one or two videos on this on YouTube the other night, and one of the tips that somebody came up with was just put a little touch of gasket seal just round the outside, because not only does it make it slip in a bit better, but it will also stop it any chance of it coming out. So I'm going to do that. Whether that's right or wrong, don't know, but that's it done anyway. A little bit of grease just round the inside. There we go. And we just want to very carefully lower this down so we're not catching the edge of the seal. And that's it into the bottom now, and then we just push it in. Be very careful not to push it in too far. That's not good. You just want it flush with the surround, which you should be able to do with your fingers. stops any oil going where it shouldn't. Okay, oil seal in. So the next thing I'm going to do is do a dry run, attaching the two together, and just make sure this is turning nicely. The rear wheel gear is turning nicely as well before we put the gasket fluid round and seal it up permanently. So next thing will be to attach this to this, attach the gearbox to the swing arm, and then bolt it together and make sure everything's moving nice and smoothly. Right, so a moment of truth in many ways. So this joins onto here. A bit easy when you've that's that. Come on. That's it, there we go. That's joined on. Now what we're going to do is stick the bolts in. I think that's the other long one, is it? That's that one. Maybe that one. Oops. That's set a bit tight. That's it. Okay, so that's the gearbox back on. That's turning nicely. Turn over. And that's turning as well. I presume that's turning how it should. Yeah, because that's turning there. Okay, so I think that looks alright. I'm going to take this back apart again, and then we'll do the beading with the gasket maker. Okay, so for the gasket maker, we have some instant gasket here with a special nozzle. Allows you to put a very thin bead on, because all you want is a very thin bead of this. You don't want to be splashing it over. Also online you can get, or in the service manual, you get a guide to exactly where you want the gasket maker to go and where you don't want it to go. So we're going to follow that, and as you can see it goes sort of inside the bolt holes and the little peg holes, just inside them, not round the outside of them. So that's what we're going to follow. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to snip off this, rather this, and then we'll be back to actually apply it to the gear case. Excuse the washing, by the way, this room doubles for many things. Okay, so I just want a thin bead of gasket fluid. This is actually clear stuff. I almost wish I'd got a colour because it'd be easier to see, but no matter. So I'll just get it started. There we go. And you just try and do it in a one if you can, which I've immediately failed to do, but there we go. It's not too disastrous if you don't. Just very shaky hands. I'm stopping to consult the map thing here, so this bit, actually you're only going in a little bit into here, to about there. Alright, a bit of a hash of this, but anyway, never mind. Going out here. Okay, just a little bit more along here. Okay, now am I missing anything? That's out there, in here. Right, now let's have a wee look at how that's sitting. Make sure I'm not seeing I missed a bit, not very good down there. Just make sure it's all, there's no gaps anywhere. Okay. It looks alright, I think. We'll soon find out when we fill it with oil. The oil starts running out, but hopefully not. That looks alright. That's a steady line. Well, not very steady line, but I'll see a full line anyway. Right round the areas you have to put it round. Just double check the map there, and that looks right. Okay, so what we need to do now is leave this, I think, for 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll leave this for 10 minutes, then we'll come back and we'll attach it to the swing arm, and hopefully that should be that, and then the fun really starts. One thing I almost forgot before joining back together is the molybdenum grease. Just some on top there and some into the two holes. This should help with prolonging the life of this, and hopefully means it never has to be changed again for the life of the bike. Okay, so we'll just wait another couple of minutes and we can reattach hopefully the whole thing together, and that will be job done. Okay, so finally what we need to do now is attach the gear block to the swing arm before this sets. Now what we want to try and do is get this in one. We don't want to be shuffling this about too much, simply because it will move the gasket sealant. We really want to get this lined up, he says optimistically. And that's just about perfect. So that's that. Bolts in before we move it about. Okay, I'm just going to take this off so we tighten up. Smooth. Everything turning nicely. Okay, so as you can see you get gasket seal coming out, but that's fine. You just wait till that's dry, then you can just basically just slip that off. So one other thing I need is from the old swing arm is where is it? There. Gearbox oil. A washer on that? Should be a washer on that, I would have thought. Might put a washer on. Anyway, I just want to put this in here and leave it in loosely so that I don't forget to fill it with oil when I'm putting it back on. So that's us. Job done. New gears in, and you put the brake shoe back on, and we're good to go. Next stage is getting it all fitted back on the bike. So as always guys, thanks for watching. I hope it's interesting. That's another first for me. Over the next, so I'm going to leave this 24 hours, over the next day or two I'll be back down at the bike and we'll get this hopefully fitted back on, and then we can do some testing and see how it works, and fill with gear oil, of course, 100ml of gear oil to go in here. Thanks as always, like and subscribe if you can. I appreciate you watching, I really do. It's quite a nerve-wracking experience this, but so far so good. All the best and thanks very much for watching. Cheers now.